Okay. Let's see. Great awakening, light lords, and grand rising to those who have not yet awoken. To know that in order to manifest, you must embrace higher vibrations. You must embrace a higher level of rhythm, a higher level of polarity, a higher level of mentalism, of acknowledging that all is one and how things correspond with one another. The cause and effect of everything, of how you actually cause the effect of yourself constantly. And you embrace the masculine and feminine energies in oneself. Put all the natural laws together inside of yourself so that you can actually know how to act within your own manifestation that you are constantly creating and co-creating with all of the other selves, your reflections of yourselves constantly. Now, in order to manifest more thoroughly and more smoothly, you have to actually stop focusing on the time. You have to actually stop focusing on when it's going to happen. Because the more you focus on when it's going to happen, the longer the span of time you create for it to come. Okay? Our minds create this reality. Our mind is actually the whole reality. Nature is a mechanism of the mind that it uses to project itself through to show you yourself, to show it itself. Okay? Before all of this, before the law of gender, before all of that, before all of what you see as the physical reality, before all of this, okay? Before all of this, you are just a mind. There is no gender. Okay, there is zero. There is zero. There is no thingness. And within this no thingness is the potential for everything to be. So we are literally living out the potential of everything that we can be through different cells, through all of these different cells that we have, interacting with one another. These different parts of ourselves, these different energies having sacred energy exchange with one another. Okay, so you actually have to see that there are parts within you that are actually having sacred energy exchanges, and this is what actually creates your ego, or what you call your natal birth chart, your astrological energy. Okay, your natural ego. Okay, not your alter ego. Your alter ego is what you're acting through, is what you're actually trying to unravel so that you can get to your natural ego, so they can know your natural ego, so that you can stop living inside of this system, living inside of this self-destructive system that we call Babylon, or we call the Europeans' ways of thinking and living and being and manifesting and constantly doing things in disorder and out of perceptually what we see as divine order. Okay, now in order to actually get out of that system of seeing time itself, actually seeing time, you actually have to focus on the now. That's why the now movement came out. That's why the new age, the new agers, or the new spiritualities, the eclectic spirituality came out and said that we should be focusing on the now. And they said that the now is all that is, even though that is half truth. All things are half truth according to natural law. Only truth, the only absolute truth is experience. So you will have to take that law and actually apply it to your life. Once you start applying all of these laws to your life, you will actually start seeing that, okay, I have an astrological energy, a natural ego, and through this natural ego, I create my own occupation, my own purpose for everything that's happening. I create my own purpose and my own actual mission. My own mission, I'm living out my manifestation. I'm living out my own energy, my own cosmic energy from all the different angles and degrees of subtle energies hitting me at one time in the now moment, creating my personality or my soul. Okay? Now that's all happening, it's just rolling, it's just rolling, just rolling. So for you to even focus on the time of when something's going to happen, for you to focus on the time of when something's going to happen, that's going to actually, or you worrying about the time of when something's going to happen, is going to actually have you try to focus on something that hasn't not existed yet. You trying to focus on something that's not in existence yet. Okay? You have to focus on the now moment. The now moment is what will make you. Watch out, son. Watch out. Go over there and play with your toy. Now, you focusing on something that doesn't actually exist. Okay? It does not exist yet because it's not in your mind yet. It's not in the now of your mind yet. You're trying to think about the future. Just like it's the same thing with the past. When you try to think about the past, you're doing that in the now moment when something else is going on. So you're actually taking attention away from the now moment of what's happening. But in order to actually in order to actually fix what you're worried about that was in the past, you will have to actually focus on experiencing that now. Because when you re-experience it, then you will actually see what happens. What happened? What was wrong that happened when you had that experience? You have to actually re-experience it. What was the reason that happened? In order for you to focus on the future, you have to experience it now. You have to actually build it now. Without you building it now, then it won't exist. It will only just be an imagination without manifestation. So we have to actually focus on the now moment as much as possible. Focus on the now moment. Focusing on the now moment, actually focusing our energy, putting our energy into this space that we have, this bubble that we create for ourselves, and actually amplify that energy throughout the collective consciousness. You have to get to the point where that's all you think about. Whatever you're trying to manifest, you have to get to the point where that's all you think about, that's all you talk about. And even if you talk about another subject, it got to connect back to what you were saying. You got to connect back to your point. You got to connect back to the goal. You got to connect back to what you're initially to what they're initially manifesting. What you're initially manifesting is what should always be the main focus, the main goal at all times. This is what's going to help you actually manifest your things quicker and more smooth. You talking about quicker. You want to know how to manifest quicker. You want to know how to get your manifestations instantly. You want to do it instantly. You got to manifest it in your mind. And when I say that, I don't mean manifest the steps. I don't mean just focus on the steps of how you gonna get it. Because it's a lot of people that focus on how they gonna get it. They don't know how they gonna get it. They envision the end result, but they're stopping themselves from getting that manifestation because they're constantly worried about how they're gonna get it and when they're gonna get it. They're constantly worried about how they're gonna get it, what steps they're gonna take. The first thing is you're hindering yourself from actually getting to the end point. Because you're so focused on how it's going to happen that you're creating so many different possibilities of paths that you're actually making obstacles. You're actually making more obstacles than you actually need. You're making more obstacles than you need because you're thinking of a certain path. You're thinking of a specific path that you're going to actually go on. And what things you're going to face, and instead of actually worrying about it when it happens, instead of actually getting face to face with that when the thing actually happens, instead of actually facing it. Okay, like I said, everything is happening now. Everything is happening now, and since everything is happening now, everything that's happening now, it means your personality, everything that's happening is rolling into the now. It's actually rolling off into the now. It's rolling into existence and fading away out of existence. It's rolling into existence and fading away out of existence. So what's happening is all of the obstacles that you think you're finna come up against, all of the stuff that you perceive that you think you're finna come up against, you finna perceive all them obstacles. You don't need to worry about the obstacles. You don't need to worry about the how and the when. You don't need to worry about the obstacles. When the obstacles come, they'll happen so smoothly for you. You will go through those obstacles so smoothly because you're not attaching your energy to the obstacle. You're attaching your energy to the end result of what you're going to actually get to. That's what faith is. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Okay? So you got to have the evidence of things not seen. The things that's not actually manifested yet, you got to have that evidence. Focus on the evidence that is going to happen. Okay? Don't focus on how it's going to happen or when it's going to happen. You just got to have the evidence of how it's going to happen. You got to have the evidence of it happening. Be good? Yeah. You just got to have the evidence of it happening, period. The evidence of it happening is the main thing that you need to be focused on, okay? That's the main thing that you need to be focused on, is the evidence that is happening. And the evidence that is happening first starts with your focus, your mentalism, your mind, actually focusing your mind on it. Actually focusing your mind on it to the point where you barely even see anything else. You got to have that tunnel vision. See what I'm saying? You got to have that integrity. It's a thin line between narcissism and integrity. Because what it is, you got to have that. You got to have it to the point where you almost narcissistic, where people will see you as narcissistic, but you're not narcissistic, because only the people that seeing you as narcissistic are the people that don't understand why you're so focused on the goal, why you're so focused on the end result of the goal. You have to see the end result to the point where you feel it, you can smell it, you can taste it. Every time you visualize it, you are there. And then just let it, and then just let it go. And then everything else you do in your daily life, just make sure that it has something to do with the end result without worrying about the actual steps to take. Let the steps come to you. Okay? Like somebody said on my Facebook, man. Somebody said, you're not on the path to happiness. Happiness is the path. Okay? Happiness is the path. So in order for you to make the path, like I said in my last video, you got to reverse engineer yourself. In order for you to even make the path to what you want, all you got to do is create the vibration, create the feeling of what you want, create the feeling of how it's going to be when you get to that thing, when you get to that visualization and manifestation. Create the feeling of it, because everything works off vibration here. And what do they call feelings? Emotion. Everything that's moving has a vibration. Everything that's moving has a frequency, and the frequency in turn becomes a vibration when it returns. Okay, it's basically the after effect of a frequency. The vibration is the after effect of a frequency. So a frequency is what you're thinking. So what you're thinking in turn creates a feeling, creates an emotion. So when you visualizing the end result and you thinking of the end result to the point where you frequently think about the end result to the point where it's like moving. First is the end result. Okay, I'm gonna do it with my hands so you can see it as an example. First is the end result. You got the end result right here, and then okay, you thought about it. Okay, then something else went in your mind. Okay, now I'm gone. Okay, but then then you come back, you visualize it again, then you visualize it more and more and more, and the more it pop up, the more it start vibrating more. The more it frequently come in, and then it start creating a vibration off of it. The vibration start flowing out, hitting the collective consciousness. Other people that you don't even know, other people that you're not even conscious of in your life yet, other people that you're not conscious of in your life yet, other situations that you're not conscious of in your life yet. It's all coming to you. It's reflecting out. And that frequency is going out based on the end result of what you're thinking of, and then the vibrations coming back based on your astrological energy and how frequently you focus on that manifestation and the quality of the type of focus you put into it. You got to clearly see the end result of that manifestation. Clearly see the end result of that manifestation. When you clearly see it, the more it becomes crystal clear, and it manifests in your mind, the end result. That's what you should be focused on. The more you feeling. The more being, the more being. See, your whole being is an after effect. The natural laws. You gotta know the natural laws. Connect with nature. Your whole being, this whole realm is an after effect of a cause, of mentalism. So when you start in the mind and you concretely observe concretely observe a manifestation, a visualization of a manifestation, frequently. Then that reflects back to you and through your immediate environment, you start experiencing the path to that end result. You start experiencing the path to that end result. And as long as you do your best to keep a high vibration on the end result, okay, swinging, you're gonna go through cycles. As long as you keep that high vibration, jumping from pendulum to pendulum, the pendulum gonna keep swinging. That's the law of rhythm. So you're gonna have ups and downs, okay? You're gonna have the obstacles. That's why I said don't worry about the how and the when. Just worry about the what. Just worry about the what and why. Let's worry about the what and why. That's all you need to worry about. Don't just worry about the what and why. What are you manifesting and why? Okay? What are you focusing on manifesting and why? Because when you're going through them pendulums and you ain't doing it for the right reason, you're gonna fall, you're gonna stay on that cycle. You're gonna stay on that pendulum to where you can't elevate and increase your higher vibration and jump from pendulum to pendulum. You know what I'm saying? Jump from different ups and different downs. Okay, different ups and different downs. You're gonna stay on that same up and down. You're gonna be wondering why. You're gonna be wondering why you still stuck in the same place. Why am I still stuck in the same place? Why am I still stuck in the same place? That's what you shouldn't be worried about. That's how you get out of the same place. You should embrace that place. Embrace the place. Embrace the place to escape. Embrace the place to escape. You got to embrace the place that you're in to escape. Okay? You got to embrace the place that you're in to escape. You got to use everything that's in your environment that's connected to the end result of your manifestation. Everything that comes to you. Everything that comes to you. Everything that vibrates out from that manifestation that you put in your mind and concretely, and you frequently vibrated and it shot out. And all the different infinities and possibilities of everything that could come back to you that's dealing with that concrete manifestation, the thing that you focus on most in your mind, due to the law of mentalism, it's going to come back to you. It's going to vibrate to you through all the natural laws. It's going to come back to you through the law of rhythm, vibration, correspondence, cause and effect, the law of gender, the law of mentalism. Okay? The law of rhythm. It's all gonna rhythmically come to you in the divine timing. It's all gonna come back in the divine timing. It's all gonna come back. It's all gonna come back in exactly the right time. You worried about the time when it's gonna happen? You making the time. You worrying about the time is you making the time. You making the time longer. You making the time longer. You making the time way longer than it needs to be for that manifestation to come to you. It's gonna come in the divine timing. It's gonna come in the exactly right time that you need to experience that. Okay? You got to be in tune with the universe. You got to be in tune with this being that we own. That's our true self. That's connected with the sun. Connect with the sun. Connect with the earth. Connect with higher thoughts. Do your daily meditations. Do your daily deep thinking. Your daily deep thinking. Thinking deeply about concepts of the universe and why you're here. And always looking for betterment in self. Always looking for a way to better yourself. Always looking for a way to better yourself because you yourself are a cycle living. You are literally a cycle living. You got masculine and feminine energies, and you got different cycles of those energies interconnected with each other, exchanging with each other within the cycle that you're living in, which is called the law of rhythm. And based on whichever energy the energies that you become conscious of in your conscious mind at the moment, it'll swing back to the other energy. Like, okay, this for an example, you might be going through some shit, arguing with somebody, all in your feelings, and then right after that shit, I'm talking about high intense feelings. I'm talking about, man, you high intense feelings, and then there's some in your mind that you trying to fight against it, but you putting so much focus on it. That's all you focused on instead of actually, you focus on more of the problem than the solution. You focus on more of the problem than the solution. That's what I'm trying to say. You focus on when and how it's going to happen, the problem and the solution. But then right after that, you be in that tense environment. Then right after that, you start thinking. You start that masculine energy come in. You start thinking, oh man, dang. I could have did this right, could have did that right, could have did that. You know what I'm saying? All that. You start thinking about all of that. So now it's the time to stop worrying about so much of what's not going to happen. You see what I'm saying? Start worrying about the problem. You got to start worrying about the solution. And when you worry about the problem, if people start worrying more about the problems, people start having more negative emotions than positive emotions, and they thinking about, dang, I want this, but. I'll see when you I want this, but this and this happening. I'm in this situation. I don't know how to find this person. I don't know how to find the way to do that. You see what I'm saying? You know everything. Fuck that. You know everything. You know everything. Stop that. All you got to do is focus on the now. Make your vibrations high. You got to have positive affirmations, positive mantras. No negative mantras, no negative affirmations, no negative deep meditations, no negative deep thoughts. Okay? That's going to only bring your level lower, going to bring you to a lower realm, a hellish realm. You got to elevate higher and higher through this purgatory to get to heaven, man. You got to elevate higher and higher so you can get to heaven. Keep on going from heaven to heaven to heaven. All these different mansions, the many mansions that the Christ speaks of. Once you get that Christ mentality, then you will know the many mansions up there. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna constantly manifest You're going to constantly connect with them and manifest every one of your desires on the path to your end goal. Okay? Every one. That's how it works. So yeah, I am Jah Mashak. I am here to live out and teach higher wisdom as an example for the collective consciousness. And I say today, I prophesy that we will embrace higher vibrations. We will embrace jumping from pendulum to pendulum, only going higher and higher, knowing that ups and downs are a part of the journey, and ups and downs that will not affect our consciousness so much to the point where it'll have us going to a hellish realm or to a lower level of existence. It will only have us going higher and higher so that we can have our desires. Okay? Now we gotta actually take this information, apply it in your life on a daily basis. Stop worrying about when things are going to happen and how they're going to happen. Only worry about what and why, okay, at first. Only worry about what and why to kick off your manifestations, okay? Only worry about what and why. And I promise you, if you this 100% guarantee. If you don't like what I'm saying, come hit me up in my inbox, hit me up, and I promise if you don't understand what's going on, if you ain't apply this knowledge, you know what I'm saying, right, or you apply the knowledge right, if you apply this knowledge right, you gonna get it, because it's happening in my life and it's happening in so many other people's lives. I'm a part of the Christ consciousness. So hey, I love myself, family. Share and subscribe. Keep them higher vibrations. Stay jumping from pendulum to pendulum, going higher and higher. Connect with nature. I love myself. Peace.